everybody, Joe Joseph here for thedailysheeple.com, and this is your news shot. So let's go to Activist Post, who has a very interesting piece. The future soldiers are weaponized drone battalions. Now, we've seen autonomous drones, autonomous weapons in the form of the tiniest little microscopic nano drones to fully automated warships now being put into service by the United States Navy. Now, I have very mixed emotions about this because on the one hand, you have war. War is never, the founding fathers were very, very particular about how we went about declaring war. So much so that they actually outlined it in the Constitution, because you have to understand, they paid for the creation of this country with the blood of thousands upon thousands of rebels, because that's what we were in those days, much like, we are today, those that speak out against this establishment worldview and these big corporations, the very same thing that the founding fathers fought against to get out from under. And mind you, it was a 3% tax. A 3% tax is one of the major things that led to the Revolutionary War, as well as doing away with colonial script. Now, once colonial script went away, that was really bad. And that pissed a lot of people off and eventually led to us going to war. But as warfare has progressed, look at what happened during the Revolutionary War, right? You had the rebels, which was basically farmers and anybody that could hold a musket. And they went up against British regulars who were trained, but still had the same muskets on their side, right? And then they had cannon. Our side over here in the United States, we had cannon. And they were basically the same cannon, meaning that we had the same weapons as that of the standing army in our country. Now, fast forward to today. Do the citizenry, do the rebels possess the same weapons that the standing army has here in the United States? And everybody knows that that answer is a resounding no. And that's been done by design. Specifically so, the chances of us rebelling and being successful is kept to a minimum. And I mean, think about it. We look at drone warfare today and we say, oh, wow, this is great because it'll take humans off the battlefield. Yes. However, the targets of these drones are probably going to be human. And when the human beings that are controlling these drones or programming these drones, because there is going to be some sort of human interface at some point in time with these drones, because you're not staring your enemy right in the face, in the eyes, it takes the human factor out of it. It takes that hesitation to say, I'm going to take the life of another human being out of it. And millions upon millions of innocent people will die as a result of these fully autonomous robots, drones, whatever. And on the flip side, it can be used here domestically. As a matter of fact, we're seeing this technology being used here domestically. And as time goes on, they will find every which way to justify the implementation and deployment of this technology to keep us under the thumb. And that's exactly what this is designed to do. Make the powers that shouldn't be richer, promulgate a transfer of wealth from the poor to the rich, and exterminate as many of us as we can. And they've already started the process. They started it a while ago. Agenda 21, Planned Parenthood, you name it, all this kind of crap. They promote these things, these ideologies, these processes, these societal standards. And as a result, what are we seeing? Birth rates at an all-time low. First world countries, every single one of them have a birth rate below 2.0. You can't maintain populations that way. Coupled with warfare. And think about this. You have pilots right now that are piloting these aircraft that take part in geoengineering, chemtrailing, whatever you want to call it. Okay? But they're the ones that have to release the aerosol out in the air, and then they've got to land the plane and start all over again. Right? Now, take this out of the hands of pilots and put it into the hands of AI. We've become so accustomed to seeing those streaks go across the sky and having the lie told to us over and over and over again, because you know the old adage, if you tell a lie enough, why, then it must be true. All it takes is one time for that plane to, instead of spraying barium or aluminum aerosol, to change it to, say, Ebola, to change it to smallpox, or whatever crazy illness. It could be something, it could be a binary bioweapon. It could be something along the lines of spray, you inhale, and it waits for a trigger. And who knows what that trigger could be? We've seen binary bioweapons in the past. A great example of that was the vaccine back in the 60s that dealt with polio, that had the SV40 virus in it that lay dormant in people until they reach menopause or midlife. And then that chemical change, that hormonal change in your body brought about and activated the SV40 virus. And of course, there's no way to measure how many people who have had cancer when they hit middle age and beyond, how many people of that their cancer was a result of this binary bioweapon. That's what it was. This is the problem with the technology that's being advanced and thrown out there. And that's why I'm so against warfare. Because there's no reason on the face of this planet that you can give me to justify the wars that are being fought today. You can't justify it one bit. Because if we had just heeded the advice of the founding fathers, who said, trade with all, ally with none, don't take part in all this empire building and all this, hey, that's my friend, so now we have to attack you, all these binding treaties. Don't get involved in that. Be independent. Be an individual, right? Just like we are human beings. We feel the need to identify with groups for some godforsaken reason. When at our core, we're individuals. You know, God gave us all free will and made us all sovereign human beings that report or are responsible to no government, to no ruling authority. That was the beauty of the United States and when it came into being. It was called the Great Experiment. Well, could it happen? And the Great Experiment failed miserably. Oh, it would have worked had we followed the blueprint and stayed with it. But men and women of ambition and greed and lust and evil have come and totally and completely destroyed everything that people worked so hard to build and to defend. And now we're going to have these fully autonomous drones, these fully autonomous weapons of war, not only deployed overseas, but used against us in our own country. I'm Joe Joseph. This was the DailySheeple.com's News Shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website at thedailysheeple.com. Have a great day.